friends. We are at Ancient Lore Village. You might have seen it on Instagram or TikTok or one of those social media platforms. That's where I found it, of course. It is right behind me here. You can see the lights from it. We're actually down by the ponds right now, but I'm going to do an honest review of this place and see if it's worth going to. We'll see.
Hi Newton friends, as you can see I am back from my trip from Ancient Lore Village. That was me when I was there. Also, if you are new here, my name is Mushy and I co-run this channel with my best friend Newt. Today in this video I wanted to give my honest review of Ancient Lore Village. I just want to preface this by saying that nobody asked me to do this review. I paid for my own room. I do not know the owners. I just wanted to give my honest review of this place for people like me who love cottagecore and fantasy. I saw this place pop up on my Instagram and I wanted to check it out for myself to see what it was like. I didn't see a lot of videos saying what people's thoughts were on the place other than just what was there and what was available and not covering the whole thing. So in this video I wanted to cover all of the place, not just a one-day walk through, but also staying overnight. So I'm going to start with all the positive things that I observed at Ancient Lore Village. First off was how absolutely stunning Ancient Lore Village is. It is beautiful. Every detail that they have put into it is immaculate. They have flowers everywhere. It's also in a more remote area and you can see mountains far off in the distance, and it's surrounded by trees and forests, and it is absolutely beautiful. And it seems like every corner that you go around tells a story. It is something to see for sure. One of the standout features for this place is a man-made waterfall that is right near the entrance of coming in and the main building. It's also where you eat dinner and have breakfast, so you get to sit by a waterfall and hear it flowing, and you can hear it flowing throughout the day, which adds to the relaxing and calm, peaceful nature of this place. There's also another waterfall that comes off of the building, so you always hear water flowing wherever you are. It's really just a visual treat, and it really enhances to the atmosphere of the whole place. Now let's talk about accommodations. We stayed in the Orc home, which was nothing short of impressive, down to every little detail. There was a cozy fireplace with large chairs in front of it that made you feel like you were actually in an Orc's home, sitting in their large chairs that they sit in every night. It also has a large bathroom, which I believe is the largest bathroom that they have for people with disabilities and need wheelchair access and need a bigger bathroom. It is good for that. It had a very beautiful kitchenette with a sink in it, and it had a mini fridge and a microwave. It also had a mini bar that you could buy alcohol and different snacks from. They also had the fridge stocked with drinks as well that were non-alcoholic for people who do not want to drink. And the bed was very, very comfortable. It was a king-size bed, so there was lots of space, and the headboard was a live edge wood headboard, which was absolutely beautiful. The lighting fixtures were beautiful. I think some of the chandeliers were made from different like antlers, which was so cool. They also had the lights in the bathroom, which were lanterns. Another little detail that I thought was really cute was that a lot of the outlets had little mini doors on them that you had to open up if you wanted to use them, and I thought that was really cute. The peace and quiet here was unmatched. We had some very tranquil nights where we sat around the fire pit and talked to other people who were staying there as well. Really nice thing about the place is that there are not that many houses to stay in, so there are not a ton of people around, and you can kind of get to know who you're staying with, which we found is pretty cool. And if you don't want to get to know people, you don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to. It's kind of an experience where you make it what you want it to be. I also have to mention the staff and the owners of this place. The staff was so friendly. It seemed like everybody loved their jobs, and they were always willing to help us with anything that we needed. When we first got to Ancient Lore Village, the owner of the place was actually in the main building where you check in, and we got to meet him, and he was very nice, and he seemed to really have a passion for the place that he has built. He actually wrote a book that the place is based on, so he wrote the book first, and then after reading his book he was like, I gotta build a place. And I think that's really cool and just adds another layer to the whole place because there is a story behind it. Now this positive won't be for everyone, but I do encourage people to do something similar and add some more magic to the place. I had a little fun and created a little fairy door before going to Ancient Lore Village with all natural materials. I used wood and vines and dried mushrooms to make it, and then I asked the owner when I got there, I said, is it okay if I put this somewhere on the property? And he said, that's fine, put it anywhere you like, just put it high so nobody steals it. I do think I put it high enough that no one would try to rip it off of where it is. It's pretty secure, but we'll see if it's still there. I ended up putting it on a trail on the property, and if you go there and find it, please let me know. I would love to see other people coming across it and maybe add some of your own and add a little bit more magic to the place, because I just think that Ancient Lore Village is so magical, and I think that if the guests who stay there add fairy doors all throughout the trails, that would be the absolutely coolest thing, and hopefully something that I start a trend with. I don't know, I think it would be cool, but we'll see. And the trails throughout the property are very lovely. They aren't too hard to go through. We were able to, I think, go on all the trails in about an hour. There was one trail that was a little harder because you had to climb up a hill, but it really was not that difficult for the average hiker. And when you get to the top of that trail, you get to overlook the village, which I thought was really cool. Food-wise, the offerings were fantastic. We ended up getting a breakfast and dinner. The breakfast was really good. They make it for you there. They made eggs and bacon and oatmeal, and they had fruit and muffins, and that was absolutely delicious. Then for dinner, it was sort of a 3-course meal where they brought out a salad, and then for your entree, you got a chicken thigh with rice pilaf and mushrooms, and then also roasted veggies with that as well. And everything was seasoned so good. It tasted delicious. And then for dessert, it was raspberry cheesecake with raspberry sauce on top, and you had a little bit of whipped cream on the side and a raspberry in that, and then there was like 3 chocolate drops. It was very good. It was delicious. You could also order signature cocktails at dinner as well. They have cocktails themed different folktale creatures. They had cocktails that were named things like Yeti and Fairy and different things like that, and it was a very nice touch. We had a blast with the axe throwing and archery that was there. We did that before we had dinner. We met at the maid building, and then they drove us over in golf carts over to the axe throwing and archery, and they had a really nice setup there. They had different stalls for the axe throwing and then different stations for the archery. And for the axe throwing, you could all throw at the same time and you didn't have to stop anybody or wait for anybody. For the archery side, you did have to wait till everybody stopped shooting, and then you would go out and get your arrows. But that worked out perfectly, and everyone got along really well, and there were no mishaps, thankfully. And then after that, they drove us to dinner. It was definitely a highlight of our trip. Ancient Lore Village, if you've looked it up, is located near Knoxville. It's only 15 minutes away. It is also about 45 minutes away from Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, so there is a lot to do around the area. We ended up going to Knoxville one night and spending some time there, and we ate on the Tennessee River, which was really nice. So if you are a type of traveler who really needs things to do, you don't want to just relax during your trip, there is plenty to do around the area. Of course, no place is perfect. There were a few cons about the place that were, I would say, pretty minor, but it could be a bigger deal for some people depending on what you expect going in. So when we first got there, there was a party going on with a large number of guests. They host events from time to time, and the event space is right in front of the houses. So where that party was right where we were staying. So when we were in our room, there were people that were taking pictures in front of our door when we were inside. So that was like a little disruptive. But they were only there for a few hours, and we ended up going off site anyway, so it really wasn't a big deal. But I would say on the weekends it might be a little busier, so just take note of that. Also, another thing that I disliked, and I could find other people disliking as well, is that the thermostat was in a locked box, so you could not control the temperature in your room. It really did not end up being a problem for us, but it was the first thing that I noticed in our room. that we could not change it. But I do think that if you needed to change the temperature and asked the front office if they could change it, they probably would. We just never did that to see if they would. I feel like they probably would, but as I said, that might not be an issue for you, but it also might be a big issue for you. The last con, I would say, is the construction that is going on at the place right now. They are building more houses. They're building tree houses that are little farther distance from the main houses that they have. So if you go at this time, you will experience some noise from the construction, but it is really not that bad. We didn't really have an issue with it. It was actually pretty quiet, and when we were in our room, we couldn't hear it at all. And when we came out during the day, it really was an issue, and then they were done at nighttime, so you could really enjoy the peace and quiet. Despite these minor issues, I would highly recommend staying at Ancient Lore Village. I would definitely stay there again. I think that it is a very beautiful place to stay in. It's very tranquil. It's a nice getaway to get away from all the craziness and busyness of life. For the most relaxing and peaceful stay, I would highly recommend staying on a weekday. I know it's probably easier to stay on a weekend because that's when most people have time off from work, but because of that, I do think a lot of people come and visit the village, and there is a lot more going on, which may not be what you're looking for in the place. I myself would not want to stay there when it's super busy, but during the weekday, it was absolutely beautiful and wonderful experience. I do think that the pros definitely outweigh the cons at this place. I think that it is a place where you can kind of tailor to what you want your trip to be. If you want it to be more exciting and busy, you can go off-site and go to places like Gatlinburg or Knoxville and have a great time there. We actually ended up staying there most of our time because we just enjoyed being there so much that we just wanted to hang out, and we played games at their little game place that they have, and it was absolutely a wonderful time, and we could not have enjoyed ourselves more. And we were talking when we were there about coming back next year or maybe another year and staying at their new tree houses, which we thought were really cool because we get to see that construction. So that's my honest review of Ancient Lore Village. I hope you found this helpful, and if you are thinking about going there, I say just do it, just go and experience the magic there for yourself, and even find a way to add a little magic to the place, because I think that this place deserves it. If you like this video, please give it a like, and please subscribe, and also hit that notification bell to get more cottagecore, fantasy, and art related content. We try to get a video out each week, if not each week, every other week. Sometimes we kind of miss the mark on that, but we both work full time, so we're trying to keep up with our schedule as much as we can, and sometimes we need a break. So just be patient. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye!